So this is my Tuono V4R. It's 2011 model. I got it in the first shipment that arrived in the country. It's a 1000 cc's V4, 167 horsepower, but has exhaust and race map as well, so it's probably about 170 odd. I use it as a daily commuting bike. I won't have any action footage because I don't have a GoPro or anything, but I'm trying to get them to include that when I buy a new bike. So this is probably the last day I'm going to have it, maybe, or last few days. And wanted to make a video and say a bit about the bike because I've ridden it every day. It's basically a super bike without fairings. It's got high bars, but that's about it. If you look at the seat position, it's tilted forwards, a lot like a super bike. You are sort of pushed into the front to get more weight over the front wheel. It's not your typical sort of naked bike. If you're looking for a naked bike that is sort of, I guess, more like a cruiser, this isn't it. It's got the chassis of the RSV4 and the engine as well. It's been slightly tuned differently. Still got heaps of power, more power than you could possibly use on the road, and you'll probably lap quicker on this bike than the RSV. Let me see. As far as rideability in traffic is good. Throttle's a tiny bit snatchy, but you know, you can overlook that just because the engine is brilliant. Aprilia have made awesome engines since I can remember. I think the first really good one was the I think it was a 60-degree V-twin with the balancing rod in the engine, which basically made probably the first V-twin that didn't vibrate like a bastard. So yeah, the engine is just mind-blowing. Oh, phone call. So continuing on, had a phone call in the middle of doing the first part. So engine just unfreaking believable. There is not a bike that sounds as good as this V4. Is just off the hook, and I probably won't be able to make a audio sound thing with the phone because the noise is a bit loud. If you do own one of these things and you have the Aprilia exhaust, there's a factory race map that you can get put on, and it makes the bike go from sounding good to just ridiculous. Highly recommend doing it, and it's I think it's a bit smoother. So as far as rideability goes, 3 different modes of tune. You've got basically rain, sport, and track, which you change with the ignition button here. Rain, never use it. Sport, never use it. Track, always use that. Look, the engine is so smooth and the traction control is so good, you don't need to cut the power down. You like riding in the rain, I still ride in track. I just put the traction control up to 8 and it works really, really good. You know, I've gone across heaps of slippery shit and started to wheel spin and it instantly pulls it into line. Like, you don't feel an oh shit moment at all. You just go, oh, the traction control's on. So yeah, fuel consumption is also better on the track setting. The engine retards the timing or some shit like that to achieve less power, and it actually consumes more fuel. So these things, I mean, as you expect, 170 horsepower eats fuel like bullshit crazy fast. So if you want to get an extra 20 kilometers out of your tank, use the track setting. Talking about the traction control, it's also wheelie control. So you can set it to stop your wheel spin, and you can set it to either stop your wheelies or control them. So generally what you'll see, and this is sort of typical for the bike of this sort of craziness, is that you will accelerate hard, you will start to wheelie, and then you'll start to wheel spin, or you'll wheel spin and then wheelie, and then you'll wheel spin again, and the computer sort of takes care of everything and keeps everything sort of under control. So I think you'd have to do something really retarded stupid to flip this bike, which is obviously concerned with that much power. Let me see, that's the Aprilia exhaust. Sounds brilliant. It's worth getting a good quality system. Move on to brakes, Brembo front and back. Really good stopping power. It can get a bit squirrely in the back, but you know, what can you do? They stop pretty good, but if you compare them to the brakes on some of the ABS bikes, or the BMW, for example, BMW has retarded good brakes. Absolutely ridiculous. Make these ones look shit, and these ones are good. So you can't complain too much about them. Let me see, as far as performance riding, super stable. Tip-in's really smooth. Cornering is ridiculously good. It corners like a super bike, and you'd expect it to, with the geometry and the suspension and chassis and everything else. I rode the KTM Super Duke, which had a really light front end into corners, didn't feel anywhere near as good. I rode the S1000R, BMW's new naked bike, and it was all twitchy on change of direction and wobbly, and didn't tip in as fast as the Tuono. And those bikes will not compete with this thing as far as performance goes. They're really just not in the same league. But they're good bikes and fun in their own sort of respects, and I'll probably talk about them in another video at some stage. Let me see. Haven't had any problems with it. Choose through rear tyres if you don't have traction control turned up, because it will wheel spin. You need to get good tyres, and you need, if you're commuting, you need tyres that heat up quickly. Otherwise you will just wheel spin all the frickin' time, because it's just that much power. It's ridiculous. It is that much power. Let me see, mirrors, good visibility. What else? The seat is hard as fuck. If you are going to do some long distance riding, I suggest, if you got the 11, 12 and 13 models, do yourself a favor and get a gel seat or something, because this thing is hard as fuck. And I remember when I first went back to riding, when I got this bike and I was riding every day, and I felt like I'd just been smashed in the ass by a sledgehammer. So do yourself a favor and get a different seat if you're going to be riding big distances on a bike like this. That said, the hardness of the seat makes it really good when you're changing sides on the bike and flipping from side to side. As far as the new bike goes, the 14, differences are, the tank is bigger. This is like 15 point something litres, which is quite small. The new one is 17 or 18, and actually comes back sort of here a bit. So what they've done is it almost feels like a bit longer reach to the bars, and the angle in the seat has actually been taken out, so it's a lot flatter than this model. I sort of don't like it. I like being the lean forward on this because with so much power, it helps you get your weight over the front wheel and keep the front tire on the ground if you're trying to, you know, come out of corners fast and want to flick back to another direction. Sometimes you don't want a wheelie. I know that's a very small sometimes, but it's just one of those things. The other stuff they changed the air intakes down here. It looks different. They got an extra few horsepower out of it. Essentially, it's the same bike, the same engine. They did put ABS on it though, and that's something that, you know, being a daily rider, I really want. And it's the driving factor for me to actually sell this and change bikes. So I was tempted to buy the 14 model, but I actually decided to get the Dorsoduro from Aprilia. It's a 1200cc V-twin, what they call is like a maxi motard. So it's like a big ass engine with a sort of motard style position. So if I can swing getting a GoPro included for free or something, hopefully I can take some action videos. Otherwise, not much chance of that happening. Let me see. Swing arm on this is gorgeous. It's like big chrome thing. It looks, well, not chrome, you know what I mean. It's proper materials, but it looks beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a hell of a lot more to say. If you want an awesome bike, this is the one to get. I really don't want to sell it because it's just brilliant, but I can't afford to have two bikes, and you know, I've got a family and safety is important to me. So those oh shit moments in traffic where ABS could help me when it's raining and slippery, it's worth it for me because my family is important. I'll start it, and I don't know whether the video will accept the sound, but we'll see. It's pretty awesome. I'm not sure if the phone will get that audio because it's decently loud. Hopefully, if I get a GoPro, who knows, I might be able to make more videos. If not, I'll upload this and hopefully people enjoy the review. And I might do one on the S1000R and the KTM Super Duke as well, because I test rode those when I was looking at new bikes. Thanks.